Okay. Please, if you have any question, use A and the Q icon. I can't follow your questions in chat. So please use Q&A icon to pass your questions. And keep your questions to the end of the session. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this webinar on online assessment methods by e-learning deanship in King Khalid University. I am Maryam Awaji, a lecturer in Computer Science College and the Vice Dean of e-learning deanship for girls colleges. On behalf of e-learning deanship, I welcome you all. Thank you for joining us today. I am so excited to have you here. But before we get started, I want to get to know a little bit about you. So could you please use the chat box and type a quick thing for me? Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your experience in online assessments? Another way, have you been using online assessments before this transformation to full e-learning? Good. Yes, 10, 9. Good. This means that you have a good experience in online assessments. Today, inshallah, we will talk about continuous online assessment methods, the new way adopted by King Khalid University and is supervised by the e-learning deanship. In this webinar, we'll cover the following topics: steps to apply online assessments, different types of online assessments, a sample of marks distribution, criteria for designing online assessments, aligning assessment with learning objectives, assessment policies for instructors and students, publishing assessments, marks distribution, and policies. We already published some steps for online assessment methods that aim at making this process clear and easy to instructors. You might receive these steps: how to start, types of assessments, and support and training. So in general, we have 5 steps to apply online assessments. The first step is to determine the number of planned assessments and distribute them for the remaining weeks. Starting from this week, we have 5 weeks left. So you should start plan your assessment and distribute them over the 5 next weeks from this week with one minimum assessment per week, and consider offering a variety of 2 assessments in this week, one a quiz and another one is assignments or discussion forum or a blog. The second step is to distribute remaining course grades over planned assessment so that the previous monitored marks plus the new distributed marks should equal to 100. The third step is to publish the assessment plan for each course and each section to your students in the announcement page and in the Start Here page to make sure that all students received and understand the plan before you start applying it. I'd like to note here that some colleges request their instructors to approve the plan by the head of the department. So if this is your case, you need to get approval before publishing the plan to students. Next step is to apply your planned assessment method. And finally, monitor student submissions and provide feedback for each assessment so that the student can learn from their mistakes and improve future submissions. Now, after we set up the plan, we know that we have different types of assessments, and how to choose this assessment is mainly depends on the learning objectives. So as we said earlier, we should consider offering various types of assessments. And this is because in some topics, you want your student to deeply understand the concepts, but in other topics, you want your student just to recall information or memorize information. So the choice depends mainly on the course learning outcomes. You can offer the following types of assessments: short essays or quizzes, short tests or quizzes, project, participation in discussion forums, and essays or reports, and live activities. You can provide live activities through a virtual classroom in such courses that need to examine orientation. So you can use virtual classrooms to communicate with your student in live session and assess their skills. You don't need to use all these 5 types of assessment, but choose the type of assessment that helps you measure your learning outcomes. And we would like to emphasize here that all assessment should be delivered and received on Blackboard. So you don't have to it's not recommended to send assessment to your student through email or social media networks, and don't accept any submissions through email or social media. If you need any help in the design of you, and provide you with everything you need from consultation to training and support. So please don't hesitate to contact us through the support number provided here. Now we can see an example of marks distribution that you can use in your course. In this sample, there are 6 columns. You can add them all to your plan or choose whatever you need. This table contains, as we said, 6 columns. The first one indicates the week number in which we are in this time, in the 10th week. The second column indicates assessment methods. Is it a quiz or assignment or report or discussion forum or project? The third column indicates the Blackboard tool to be used to deliver this type of assessment. For example, for the quiz, you can use Blackboard test. For the report, you can use Blackboard assignment or safe assignment. For the discussions, you can use Blackboard discussion forums. And for the project, you can use Blackboard assignments plus Blackboard Collaborate or Zoom. The fourth column indicates the topics to be covered or the topics that you wish to assess your student on. If you want to assess them on topic 4, just indicate that in the assessment plan. The fifth column shows how much each assessment is worth. So you have to allocate marks for each assessment, so students know how many marks they will be assessed on. The last column is the due date, which is the most important column. Each student must know his due date in advance, because our students have many courses at the same time, and they need to know their deadlines in advance so that they can manage their times wisely. Also, please consider not to add more than 2 assessments per week, because students have multiple courses, and for example, if they have 4 courses at the same time, they end up with the 8 assessments per week. So adding many assessments will make it difficult for them to submit on time. I would like to mention here that there are some settings on Blackboard tools will help you to control when a student can see assessments and when they become unavailable. These settings enable you to stop receiving new submissions after due dates and help you make students stick to their deadlines according to the provided plan. Also, you can prepare all assessments in advance and set up the availability date after the due date, after your due date. So you can create all assessments in advance to make it easy for you not to add a new assessment each week. We have some criteria for designing online assessments. The first one is to identify learning outcomes to be met from each assessment. As we said, from the course learning outcomes, you refer to your course specification for the respective course. Second is to select the appropriate tool for the assessment. We said we have 5 types of assessment: assignment, online test, virtual classroom, or discussion boards, or reports. Next is to include clear instructions and rubrics for assessment submissions and marks distribution. Then provide specific criteria to assess students' performance and their participation. And specify a number of attempts for quizzes or for assignments. Also, specify due dates and duration for completion, like in quiz. For example, you can provide or specify 1 hour to submit the quiz after starting it. And provide continuous evaluation, monitor grades, and provide feedback through Grade Center. We said that we have to choose the assessment type according to the learning outcomes. Assessment with learning outcome is to use Bloom's taxonomy model. I think most of you, if not all of you, knows Bloom's taxonomy model. So this model classifies learning objectives into levels of complexity, starting from the basic level, remembering, to the highest level, creating. So if you want your student to recall information, you can use a set of action verbs like recall, recognize, or identify. And the appropriate assessment for this type of learning objective is a Blackboard short test or assignments. So you can ask them to identify main components of something or list something. And you can use Blackboard tests with MCQ questions, fill in the blanks, or essays. Next is understanding. If you want your student to explain idea or concepts, you can use such verbs like interpret, summarize, compare, and explain. Such activities like reports, discussions, or assignments, you can ask your student to use their knowledge to explain or compare between 2 things. And the Blackboard tools available for this type of assessment is assignment, discussion board, then applying. If you want your student to apply information in a new way, you can use assignments, discussion boards, and blogs. Then analyzing. If you want your student to distinguish between different parts, you can ask them to analyze or distinguish or differentiate between things. Like in this example, discriminate or select relevant and irrelevant parts of something. And you can use Blackboard assignments, Blackboard discussion boards, or blogs. Next is evaluating. If you want your student to justify their decisions or their opinion about something, you can provide them with activities with like reviews or make studies or case studies, and ask them to provide information to justify something. And available tools is Blackboard assignments, Blackboard discussions, or virtual classrooms. And finally, if you want your student to create new product or point of view, you can ask them to create something or generate or design such activities as research projects, essays, or business plan or website designs. And the available tools in Blackboard is Blackboard assignment, discussion boards, blogs, or virtual classrooms. So the choice of the assessment or the type of the assessment depends on the learning objective. If you have learning objective, you can use Blackboard tests with multiple choice, fill in the blanks or essays, or if you have a more complex learning objectives like creating, you can use Blackboard assignments or discussion boards or virtual classroom to communicate with your students if their submission include presentations, or if you want to assist them in their speaking skills or presentation skills. Now we can see examples of aligned and misaligned assessments with learning objectives. In this example here, we have learning objective, that is, a student will be able to build a business plan, and the assessment is identify 4 types of business plan. Now, in this example, I want to ask you, do you see that this assessment is aligned with learning objective or not? Could you please type in the chat? Is it aligned with the assessment, or the assessment is aligned with learning objective or not? No? Good. Some of you say yes. Well, the learning objective aims to measure students' ability to create a business plan, but the assessment measures students' knowledge of business plan. So they are different things. You ask them to create a business plan, but the assessment asks them to recall information about business plan. So they are not aligned. This example, the same learning objective, but the assessment is to create a business plan using lean canvas model. For this example, we can see that the learning objective aims to measure students' ability to create a business plan, and also the assessment asks students to create a business plan. So here the assessment and the learning objectives are aligned. Okay. Now we have an example of a good designed assessment. Why do we say that this is a good design assessment? We can see from this assessment, there is a question and learning objective and instructions. We should measure if the assessment is aligned with the learning objective or not. So the question says, view the attached file and transfer AR diagram into relations. And the learning objective is, students will be able to map entity relationship diagrams into relations. So we can see that both the assignment or assessment question and the learning objectives are aligned. They are both asking the same thing, students, or to measure the same thing, student ability to transfer AR diagram into relations. Also the instructions. As we said, we have to provide instructions for students in each assessment. The instructions here said that there is only 1 attempt per group for this assessment, and the assignment is worth 2.5 marks, and no copying is allowed, and the due date also is set, and also how to submit the assignment, what the format you want your student to submit the assignment. So all instructions are listed carefully, and the student will know how many attempts they have, the marks for the assessment, the due date, and the format. There are some online assessment policies for instructors. These policies should be followed, or all instructors should be aware of these policies. Instructors must make assessments available to students per the assessment plan. That means if you provide your students with an assessment plan, you should make the assessments available to them on time. Second is, instructors must give all assessment through Blackboard assessment tools. As we said, through assignment or test, forums, or virtual classrooms. It's not a good practice to provide assessment through announcement page or inside lectures or through email. Instructors should not accept student submissions through course messages or email, because these tools don't have grades, so you cannot grade student submissions on course message or email. Instructors must log in on Blackboard and make notifications on announcement page. So if you add any new assessment, you should announce that for your students, and also send a copy of the announcement to their email. Make quizzes available for 2 days from the date of availability, and a student should submit the quiz within 60 minutes or as you wish. So the important thing here is to add time for the student to view the quiz and also for submitting the quiz. If you add it on the same day and you ask your student to submit on the same day, some students didn't know about it and cannot submit on time. Plagiarism should not be accepted. Instructors should opt for safe assignment tool for assignment submissions. So you need to check the originality of the assignment using safe assignment tool, and also check the resources of the assignment for fair assessments. Instructors should grade all assessment duly through Grade Center tool and provide feedback and comments. So the due date is not only for students but also for instructors. They have to provide their feedback and also grades all assessments on daily basis, so that the students can learn from their mistakes and improve their future submissions. We have here example of assessment policies for students. You can put these policies on Start Here page and also make announcement to students, so that a student will know how to submit, where to submit, and the time they have to submit a quiz, and so on. So students should submit all assessment only through Blackboard assessment tools. As we said, no submissions will be accepted through email or message. Any submission through course message or email should not be accepted. Students should stick to deadlines. No late submissions should be accepted. You should make it clear to your students that you will not accept any late submissions. Quizzes will be available for 2 days from the date of availability, and the student should submit the quiz within 60 minutes or so. Only 2 attempts is given for a quiz, and the questions can be seen at once or one by one. The student must log in on Blackboard and check announcements page and follow due dates on daily basis. Any type of copying from web or peers are not allowed. Students are required to put their contribution and submit their original work. The student can check their progress and comments on their submitted assessment through a Grade Center tool. So these are examples of policies you can put to your students. So it's like an agreement between you and the student to submit questions or to submit assignments and receive them. Now, where to publish assessments? According to the use tool, you can publish your assessment in all sections of your courses on Blackboard, in the assignments and test page, or in the discussion boards, or in the virtual classroom. But it is important to indicate where to submit the assignment, or where you can provide the assignment for your student in the course assessment plan. So if you have any changes to your plan, you should notify your students. Now, where to publish mark distribution and policies. Marks distribution and policies should be published on a Start Here page, in the announcement page, and also notify students individually through their email and course messages. So all the students should know about the assessment plan in advance. Instructions about activities or assessment should be included in the respective assignment page, or in the discussion form, or in the test assignment. Also, if you add any new assignment or any new assessment, you should make an announcement about it in the announcement page. Next, marks and comments on the assessment submission. You should provide all grades through Grade Center for individual students' submissions, and you are not allowed to announce the student grades in the announcement page. You have to make a student grades make a student grades invisible to everyone, and you should keep student privacy. So some teachers make a table of students' names with their grades on the announcement page, and this is not good. Student privacy should be maintained. This is all what we have for today, and if you need any help, you can visit Tmkeen YouTube channel, faculty member help page, and Blackboard help page. Also, if you need any query, or if you have any query, you can contact the support number through phone or WhatsApp. Now it is time for your questions. I'll start reading questions and try to answer them. What is the KKU guideline regarding number of assessments that can be taken per week per course? We recommend that at least, or at most 2 assessments per week, but you can refer to your department or your college to specify the number of assessments. It depends on the department or the college. If you need any tutorials or training on the use of assessment or how to create assessment, there are many videos in Tmkeen YouTube channel and also in the Blackboard help page. The quiz in the type of MCQ cannot be for 2 days, otherwise students will spread the answers among them and no benefit of the assessment. For this, you can use a pool of questions. You can create multiple questions in a pool and select a random block of question. So the question will not be the same. And also restrict the student to submit the quiz within 30 minutes or 20 minutes. Is there any space for comments to the student in the Grade Center? Yes, you can comment to student submission in the Grade Center. There are some questions about how to create tests or assignments. There are many videos explaining how to create assignments or tests or discussion forums. You can visit YouTube, Tmkin YouTube channel, or faculty member help page, or Blackboard help. I'll also refer to the recorded sessions. There are different videos about creating assignment or assessment in general. How to use Grade Center for result analysis. Also in the videos about Grade Center, you can find some analysis of the student grades. For each assessment, you can find some analysis for the students. How to use discussion boards. As I said, there are many YouTube videos explaining how to use discussion boards. You can make these discussions either graded, that means the grades are included in the total grade of the students to the student, or you can make these discussions just an activity without grades. If an assignment will last for 5 days, do I have to specify the duration of the exam in minutes? Yes, you can specify. You can make the test available for 5 days, but set the duration of the exam in minutes. But you should consider the number of questions and the time. And for MCQ questions, 45 seconds or 1 minute is enough. I mean per question. So 45 seconds or 1 minute is enough for one MCQ question. I have experience of assignment and test, but no experience in other tools. Other tools are discussion boards, or blogs, or virtual classrooms. I think most of you have already used virtual classrooms, and if you need any help, you can visit Tmkin YouTube channel. If we give the questions all at a time, the student can take picture of all the questions and cheat. Yes, this is true. If you don't use the random block of questions, it is recommended to use polls with random block of questions so that you can minimize cheating cases. And also use a question one by one, it's better. Can we allow students to complete assignment tests on weekends? This is up to you. You can allow them and refer to your department in this regard. Is it mandatory to give 2 attempts for a quiz not using random block? You can refer to your college, but it is recommended to give them 2 attempts per quiz and use random block of questions. Can you send this lecture through email? Yes. How safe assignment used for checking plagiarism? Safe assignment tool will check the resources from the internet. So if there is a match, it will show you that 70% match one website or like so. How we can see Tmkin YouTube channel? I can show you now. You can open a web browser and type here Tmkin, or in Arabic Tmkin. So you find this link, تمكين التعلم الإلكتروني. Click the link and you'll find a lot of videos explaining how to use tools and also some of the recorded webinars. You can see here webinars, and there are some English webinars using Blackboard, tasks to Blackboard proficiency, conducting electronic tests and exams using Blackboard. These are for those who ask about using tools. Is it possible to design MCQs, true, false, fill in the blanks, and short essays in a single quiz at the same time? Yes, it's possible. You can design a poll for MCQ, another for true, false, and another poll for fill in the blanks, and another one for short essays. And when you create your test, you can choose how many questions you want to appear in the exam from MCQ poll, and how many from true, false, and how many from fill in the blank and essays. So you have to decide how many questions you want to appear in the whole test, and also you can specify the type of the questions. What is report and type of assessment? It is assignment. You can ask your student to submit a report in the assignment tool. Okay, I can send you the link of the Tmkeen YouTube channel. This is the link for Tmkeen YouTube channel. You can search for English recorded lectures or English videos. A question about mathematical equations, how to apply and design. I think there was a webinar about mathematical equations and questions or tests for them. Maybe there is a recorded webinar about this. I will check now, or we can search for it and send it to your email. Any further questions? Specify the maximum marks for one assessment. We cannot specify. You can refer to the department for this. It is different. Some departments says that you don't have to exceed 10 marks per assessment, but others don't have no problem. So refer to your department. Is there a way in Blackboard assessment to watch the student while they are doing home exams? You cannot watch them, but one way is to open a live session during the exam and ask them to join you in the live session, so that if they have any question, they can ask you. Like make announcement for students, I'll be in live session from 1 to 3. If you have any question about the exam, which is available to you for 2 days or for 1 day, I'll be here for you. How can we use virtual classes? There are some YouTube videos about that. You can also visit Blackboard Learn. You can find all videos here. Yes, you can use live sessions with your students. Any demo on how to use Grade Center? As I said, there are a lot of videos in Blackboard Instructor Help, also in Tmkeen YouTube channel. Please refer to these resources to find demos about how to create tests or how to use Grade Center. Is it possible to conduct assessment for one student from a hall? Yes. You can use some adaptive release options to specify one student or a group of students who can see this assessment. If students send wrong assessment, how we can delete and resend again? You can specify how many attempts each student can submit, and you can delete the submission from Grade Center and allow him a new attempt. I hope I answered all your questions. Any further questions? Thank you for your attendance. I really enjoyed my time with you. Thanks a lot. I will share this recording with you. We'll send the recording to your email. Thanks a lot and have a good day.